Good day all. Today we'll be looking at a question under bisection method. The question says find a root of f of x equal to 2x minus 5 in the interval of 2, 4 using the bisection method. Now, to better understand this question, we will first of all try to say the meaning of the word root. Now, when we say roots in maths, we normally mean the value of x when f of x, which is something as your y, is equal to what? 0. So that's what this question is trying to get. The question is telling you what is x when y is equal to 0. But our known interval, or the place that we are sure that this value will lie, is in between 2 and what? 4. We are sure that this value is in between 2 and 4. Find this value. That is what bisection method is all about. Now, to bisect means to divide something into 2 equal parts. So that's the main idea here. So given these two intervals, we are told that in our number line that 2 and 4 is where this value lie. Is where this value lie. Now, the first thing we first of all do is to get the value of y. Since we already know the x value, we can now get y when x is 2 and 4 using this formula. Since this is the relationship between x and y and x, we can now get what our corresponding y value is meant to be. So imputing the value of 2 into this formula, remember this is for your what? Your roots. Now imputing this into this formula, you have that y is equal to, when x is what? 2, y is equal to 2 times 2 minus 5, which will give us 4 minus 5, which is minus 1. So this tells us that in our y-axis, we are meant to join these two dots, and we'll get a point here. Now we try it for x when x is what? 4. Y is equal to this is 2 times 4 is 8 minus 5, which is what? 3. So say here is 1, here is 2, here is what? 3. This is a rough sketch. It's not compulsorily correct. Just want to make a sketch here. So we can now join these 2 points together and say that this is our graph, approximately our graph. Now we want to find the value, this value here, where y is equal to what? 0. So this is the value we are interested in. So the idea behind bisection is that this distance, we divide it into 2. Check what is y value is going to be. Trace it on this line. Get it. If it is not going to be giving us 0, we'll keep on trying to get this particular value. So we'll keep on dividing till we get the value or close to the value. So we have done the first step, and this is what our graph is telling us. So the next step we're going to be doing is bisecting this interval, finding the center of the interval. And when we do that, we have 2 plus 4, which is the center of the interval, and say m to denote it, divided by 2. This is 6 over 2, which is what? 3. Common sense will tell us that the answer is what? 3. So let's say our value is what? 3. Now remember, this is a rough sketch. I could have simply just traced this on this line and find our corresponding y value, but it won't be exact, or it won't be 100% right. So the more accurate way is to reflect back to your equation. This will definitely tell you what your y value is meant to be. Now, going back to our equation, we have that what? X, when x is now what? 3. What will y do what? Be? Now, just say 2 multiplied by what? 3 minus 5. And when we solve this, we have 6 minus 5, which is what? 1. So this tells us that this and this are meant to be what? Joining together. But it's not giving us what? 0. We want a value that will give us what? 0. This will give us what? 1. So we're now sure now that this value is in between what? 2 and what? 3. We are now sure that the value is in between what? 2 and what? 3. Since it did not give us 1, and since that our 2 is giving us minus 1, and our 3 is giving us 1, 0 is in between the two of them. 0 is in between this one and minus 1. 0 is in between. So we have gotten a new interval. Now we want to find that value now that is in between the two of them. Now we find the midpoint of these two again, or the center of the two, which is, with common sense, we know it is what? We know it is what? 2.5. But still, how to solve it? Still the same way. Your m is what? 2 plus 3 over what? 2. This is equal to what? 5 over 2, which is something as what? 2.5. Now, I'm going to be imputing this 2.5 into this same equation. Remember, this step was just to get our midpoints. The same thing with this. If we get our midpoints, we will then impute it back in that formula to check if we are getting close to 0 or away from 0. So imputing this value, so ask ourselves, when x is what? 2.5, what will y then be? We will then say 2 bracket 2.5 minus 5. Now 2 times 2.5 is what? 5. 5 minus 5 is what? 0. So this tells us that this value at this point, so as you can see, I shifted a bit and said that the thing should be, I was thinking that it's not going to be 2.5, but you see our equation is telling us that 2.5 is actually the what? Root. So this is wrong. It's meant to be that this point here is where our 2.5 what is. So this rough is just a guide. This sketching is just a guideline, to the main thing. But how to definitely get the accurate answer for your y values is by simply imputing your given x values into this to get your y axis. As you can see, anyone we solved and we got the value, we'll come and transfer the thing here. So when we solve finish, anyone we solved, we keep on dividing. We divided in between 2 and 4, we got 3. Divided in between 3 and 2 and 3, and we got 2.5. And from our solving, it tells us that 2.5 is the value of x, when y is equal to what? 0. So this is just a basic example for bisection. That's just the idea about bisection method. You keep dividing till you get close to that root or that value of x when y is what? 0. So thank you and God bless you. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.